Okay, so hello my people over there. Today we are gonna continue the Project English Mastery video series, and we are writing over here with the Google Docs with speech recognition, and I'm thinking about using some photos over here also in this file. Here's one of my newest art pieces that I did out of photographs, and I'm going to be talking about bettering and making this YouTube channel better in general in this video. And I'm trying to write actually maybe a book or some kind of instruction manual or to really understand YouTube video making, but also maybe understand even filmmaking. I don't know. Maybe we are trying to take it to that level. So there's the lighting. How can I make my lighting better? Well, I just looked at some lighting solutions, and I kind of didn't find maybe anything that was maybe worth buying at least. Uh, it's just for the fact that I feel that putting money into lighting is just just a freaking hard thing to do. Like, why would I do that? I don't know. Maybe it's just the thing that would kind of gain your videos that kind of attraction, because you know it might be the way that the better you can be seen, the more you will be seen. I don't know, who knows. But then again, we are going to talk about some other aspect of video making. Let's talk about saturation in the post processing. What is saturation really all about? You could also call it color richness. Saturated colors are more to how things look in evening light, for example. And do you know something about the evening light? Evening light is actually warmer than midday light. When you start to think about the solar system, the sun is always at the same spot. It doesn't move, but the angle of the planets and the what is the thing called when the planet like rotates around the sun, and the rotation affects the light. What are all the things that affect the light quality in like real life, that when we are not dealing with human made lights? The problem with maybe Nate. Okay, let's think about it in a completely new way. Uh, let's just forget about let's forget about man-made light. Let's forget about that. Let's just forget it. Let's forget about that. We're not going to be using man-made light. Man-made light is always bad. Let's just say it. Let's not use man-made light. Let's not use man-made light at all. Let's use natural light. And let's try to figure out the place we should be filming in. This will limit us to the outside world. And what kind of a place would be great to film a video in? I feel that water is a great element in the shot. Some river or something where the water sound of water flowing transmits to the microphone. That kind of stuff. Okay. Then we might think about the challenges. The challenges in filming in the outside world are the weather and the wind. For example, now when I look out, it's not that windy anymore. These don't affect you in the inside. These don't affect you in inside of human-made structures. I've been thinking about this. Could I find a building or some other human-made structure I could film videos in that was not my home? I feel that it's really hard to transform your living environment, your home, into a great video making set, because you at the same time have to think about that I have to live here and it has to be functional, and you can't be doing all the stuff you would maybe want to do that you could do on a film set. I don't know if like is it the director of the movie project that kind of decides where the different parts of the film will be shot? How is it actually planned? I feel that I could learn so much from the film making business, you know. I could learn so much that I could use in my YouTube videos. I've been thinking about making some, you know, like endeavors into the acting type of thing, and I would want to make like a movie about Truth Detective, but I'm not yet sure how would I actually accomplish it, you know. I maybe can't think in this way yet. Maybe I don't have that kind of skill to think in that way, that yeah, this could be this place could be used in this way in this kind of scene, and this place could be used in this way, and you know, that kind of stuff. I feel that I'm cramped into this kind of box. And my creativity is just, you know, overflowing. It just can't, you know, stay inside of this box. Because when I think about walls, you know, let's talk about walls. That's a really interesting topic. Let's talk about walls. Okay. There's the walls that are going to be showing in your videos. This thing is shot against the wall. You know, this is my shadow. It was a projector and it was showing some, you know, like video, and I took this photo while there was just, you know, white light, you know, white background. Then I added, this is my shadow, and this is a font I added into it. So there are the walls that are going to be showing in your videos. What kind of wall texture should you go for? What kind of colors? if you use a green screen, none of these things matter. And you understand how big of a thing it would actually be to start changing walls that you film your videos against. You know, for example, I have this, you know, in my room, you know, this tapestry. It looks bad. I know that it looks bad, and you know, it's so fucking, you know, it looks horrible. But it's just, you know, one of those things that, yeah, you know, am I going to change that? Probably not. And if you start making this one, you know, this kind of set, you know, it's so you know, it starts to limit you so much. I don't want that, you know. So I would want big walls that I can get my shadow on. I want to start playing with the shadows more, and I want more camera angles to film those shadows. I want to create more colorful, maybe RGB lit videos. And the best maybe place I could film those in would be somewhere where there are no windows, there's just no natural light at all. I want to create this kind of room that would maybe even be circular, that I could use to project my shadows on the walls. You know, I have done those done those videos where I kind of, you know, do a rhyming type of things and like singing type of stuff while I rotate, and there are two cameras, and the other one is filming my shadow and the other one is filming myself, you know. And they have been kind of experimental and pretty fun to make, and I have liked to make those videos. But I'm thinking, how can I take that to the next level? You know, how can I make that even more interesting? You know, can I do it with three cameras? Like, you know, I'm going to be talking the next in this about video editing, and we had over here we talked about cutting, and at the moment when I'm using Kdenlive, I can. It's not Kden, it's Kdenlive. It's an open source program, a Linux program. A great video editor, I feel. I have been able to do a lot of stuff on it, but at the moment when I'm using Kdenlive, I can use two video streams and combine them and cut them so that the better microphone is used with both of the camera angles. You understand? But what if I had three cameras shooting all at once? Could I invent some way to use this program because the fact is that I'm not going to be changing from Linux to anywhere. I'm not gonna be changing from Linux, you know. I'm a Linux dude, so I have to use different programs. And for example, this art piece over here, it was not created with Photoshop, you know. You can see, you can look at the videos. I have made videos where I do this kind of art pieces. I have made those videos also in English, so you can check it out. But I can do those kind of videos, but I feel that it would be a kind of a hassle. I want to I would want to have a video editing program with unlimited video streams. Because when you kind of I'm gonna take a screenshot. I'm gonna explain this to you through the photo. Wait a minute. Okay, so yeah, here's the picture of the video editor. You know, the Kdenlive program. It's a pretty small picture, but you know it's fine. But I actually found a way. You can add video streams to it. You can see over here I have 3 video streams, or the 3 video kind of that you can put stuff. So if you would make a video with 3 video cameras, you would line them up over here, and you would start cutting. This would be this would be the primary camera. This would be your secondary, and this would be the third camera. And you would start cutting into this first, then into this, and you would kind of get these holes. And when you cut the hole in this one and this one at the same time, you start seeing your primary camera. That's how you do multi-video stream editing. And you line the audio streams up through looking at the you know, the visualization of the audio, you know, that thing, and then you get them all to match, you know. So I can do it on my video editor, you know. So I figured out the way to do it, and there's no problem in theory of doing those videos. But the audio streams can be kind of finicky. Because when you get, for example, 3 cameras and you match up all the audios, it's fine. It's fine, but you could do it this way, that you film the whole thing through and you render the whole thing through, and then when you have like finished rendering the whole thing with the right kind of these cuts, you know, you cut it again, you know, you render and then you cut again. You can do that. You can do that, you know. You can render videos and then you can cut again into them. But I would say that you should aim to cut perfect before rendering. You shouldn't do any more cutting after the video has been rendered. And this is of course, this is because of the, well, it's because of the image quality, but on top of that you might get this kind of, you know, not a good flow in the video because you do it in 2 stages. I would like to do it that way. I don't know about, you know, filmmaking, like is there any, you know, kind of way to explain it, you know, this is the stage. What is the stage you actually go into cutting in video making or filmmaking? At what stage do you do this? Well, the good thing about the film industry is that there are actually people that do only that. No. In the film world, there are actual people who do only that. They are masters in that. They know what to leave out and what to include in. You know that funny black and white thing they use in film making, that, you know, they use to like separate the clips from each other and the takes from each other. I'm going to explain to you that I had this camera and I was supposed to get a different kind of camera, but you know, they sent me the wrong camera, but the thing I bought that I didn't get had this kind of remote control type of thing. It was a Canon camera, and it had this remote control that you could actually press the button on to like put the video camera to recording mode. And when you make YouTube videos, you have to always cut out the parts where you are kind of fiddling with the like the record buttons, you know, of the camera. You have to always cut those out. And I thought that, yeah, that could be actually pretty great, you know, that you could, for example, go and stand like pretty far away from the camera and just hit record and that kind of stuff. You could even like change the zoom with that remote control in the camera. I was like, holy shit, that's pretty great. I'm gonna get that, and I didn't get it. I don't know. The company I bought the camera from was pretty shitty. But if you think about that, could you? Because when you have a cameraman that kind of, you know, cameraman that can do all that for you, you know. Can you figure out a way to make taking shots more streamlined and easy with your camera? Can you get a remote control to get the camera to record? Would there be a way to control the camera the same way a cameraman could do it without actually needing anybody behind the camera? You know, that kind of stuff. Could you get the camera to get this like more interesting, like get more interesting type of, to make more interesting videos? Could you do those kind of things? Could you invent something, maybe a tripod that could do those kind of things with some kind of remote controls? You could like rotate the camera like this or like this, and you know, cameras have so small screens that you can see them very far away where you are actually located in the shot. But you can actually get around this by lighting. You can get spotlights in some part of the shot, and you can trust that you are in the shot if you have the spotlight in the right place in the shot. That kind of stuff. It's hard to explain. But when we go back to this editor, you know, and we talk about post-processing, the saturation, the problem might be just, you know, that I've explained in some of the previous videos, that because with video, the video kind of always changes, and the automatic settings, in your video camera will find a way that none of the parts are so overexposed that they become pure white, and there's not this pulsation of light. And even though the camera changes the exposure settings in a video all the time, they won't be showing in the video until you crank up that exposure to bring something out in the video. And I feel that that's the reason you should have the lighting done right hardware wise. You shouldn't be changing the exposure after the fact in the video. It's not a great idea. I have done that some, but yeah, when you film inside, that might work. but natural light always changes, so it's not a great idea. So it's a really hard thing when you live somewhere and you try to live in the same place you try to film your videos in. It's kind of that thing. I would so want to like do this to the walls, or I would so want to like do this kind of lighting, or I would so want to do this, but then you kind of realize like, man, you know, I have to live with that then, and that's, you know, you kind of go, nah, I'm not gonna do that, you know, for example, the green screen thing, you know, the things are actually quite heavy and you have to place them on the floor, and you know, it's quite, you know, a pain in the ass in the end, you know. So I feel that, is YouTube something you want to take? You want to take to such a level that you are actually willing to sacrifice your home functionality to make your YouTube videos better. I'm not really sure if I'm willing to do that. So I invent new ways. But still I feel I'm cramped into this box and I can't do all the things I want. You know, there are these, you know, I remember this. Let's talk about let's just talk about the background in the videos. There's the background of your videos. Now, actually, we might be starting to divide this up into the chapters, and I'm not really sure where we should start. This could be the introduction. If we make this into a book, this is an introduction. And I would want to create this, you know, content list, you know. And we are going to be dividing this up like this. And the first, we're gonna talk about editing. We're gonna talk lighting, filming, acting, and this might not be the right order. We're gonna talk about writing. This is not going to be the right order, but we just have to map this thing out. And there are going to be these sub, you know, chapters like this. But we are not gonna do those yet. You know that cutting is a facet of editing, and you know, like all that kind of stuff. You learn the basic terms, you know. I feel that you learn the basic terms of like video editing. You learn them through photo editing. You should be first focusing on photo, because you get to gain a certain kind of fun. Video is so much, it's so much more complex, you know, because it's always changing. Okay, so this is kind of, you know, all over the place. So we have to kind of start. We have to start somewhere. So we are going to be starting here, and we are gonna write over here with big caps, you know, editing, and this might be the chapter well, let's call it, it's a chapter 4, but we are gonna change this up. So there has to be an introduction to every chapter. So how are we going to introduce this chapter? What are we gonna say? After you have filmed those amazing videos and recorded those amazing moments, you will start to have to think of how those clips will be divided into smaller videos and how they will be cut. Is there anything you have to change in terms of values, exposure, settings, etc. in the videos to make them look better? And that's editing. So when you for example, like the if I would make a plan for, you know, for you, for like how would you use your money to make your YouTube channel better, I would say that if you have computer hardware that's you know, that's just, you know, good enough for editing, then you shouldn't be putting your money into that. You should be putting your money into cameras, because you can always take your time with editing, even with bad hardware. You know, you can always take your time. People won't know how, on what kind of processor it was like rendered, you know. But things like your clothes and the lights and, you know, your cameras and your microphones, people will see and hear them, you know. So I would put your monies into that and kind of, you know, fly with like maybe even subpar computer hardware until you get to that point that it's really the only thing that you could be getting better at, and you kind of put your monies then in that. If you are kind of on a budget, I would say that's a great, like, a plan, and I would do that myself nowadays. You know, I that's one of the reasons I do mostly, you know, full HD videos, because 4K video editing requires such a good hardware, you know, that you kind of, if you want to make a bit longer 4K videos, they take a lot of space. They are slow to upload, you know. If you make a 10-minute video in 4K, it's going to be about, I would say, about 4 gigs, you know, a 10-minute video. You make a 10-minute video in full HD, it's going to be about 500 megabytes, you know. It's fast upload. So you would have to upgrade your internet connection and that kind of stuff. Maybe that's not so good. Yeah. And most people watch videos on smartphones, computer monitors. Some people watch them on, like, you know, bigger screens, but I didn't know. Yeah, you could do it. You should do it. But let's not get hung up on that. Let's think about more about the content list over here. So the acting and the budget, planning, that kind of stuff. Costumes. Did I write shooting? Yeah, it's called filming. Well, it's the same. It's the same. So we're gonna just, you know, we're just gonna divide. We're not gonna write anything over here. We're just gonna, like, start separating these things into the smaller categories. So filming, there are camera angles, and there are, with filming there are camera angles. There's the position. Well, it's the same thing, you know, really. And with editing, you know, you have cutting, you have post-processing. Then with acting, you have your talking style. You have eye contact. You have facial expressions. You have hand gestures, and you can learn this. You know, you have seen that I do crazy things with my hands in my videos. I do crazy things with my hands in my videos. Sometimes they can be a bit distracting, but in some, you know, it's hilarious. You know, I feel that it's funny. I feel that it's funny. There are so many people so many, you know, YouTubers that don't use their hands much at all, and I feel that, you know, I'm really unlocking that kind of stuff. So that kind of stuff, you know, with you can talk about lighting angles also, and the color of the light. The light distance. But you know, the sun is really interesting because it's so far away from us, but still it like illuminates everything so well, you know. For example, when you have a round shape like a tree and the light hits it, you know, you get a nice shadow on the other side. But if you had like two suns, you know, uh, it would be so different. So should you actually follow the same principle that we have one sun, you know? So what if we want to make things look natural? We're gonna ask this question over here. So we're gonna create the lighting the lighting chapter over here. And we wrote it like it was the first, you know, but we're gonna write chapter 1 lighting. Let's make it the first. I don't know why, but let's make it the first thing. Maybe it should be the first thing, you know. Maybe really you should be focusing on light first. I don't know. Maybe it's that way. I don't know. So can I make my lighting better? So I'm gonna ask these random questions. And we are going to make this into a book at some point. The Truth Detective's journey into YouTube mastery, you know. Can lighting be taught in the way... Okay, let's just start over again. Because there's just one sun, should a YouTuber or filmmaker follow the same principle and just use one light? Will using one light make the shot feel more natural? With lights it's really hard. Okay, let's add one more insight. With lights it's really hard to buy them online because you have no idea how they are going to look. Yeah. I have went to some stores and I have looked at the lights and I have been not impressed with almost any lights I see. I'm kind of, and with my current video camera and the camera, the DSLR I had, I kind of saw that, holy shit, this camera overexposes so freaking badly, you know, the video. And when I go, for example, to the forest with my like current video camera, it kind of washes out the light so much, and I haven't found any fucking settings, you know, on the camera, you know. Like there's nothing you can change in the settings of the, there's no filters you can use in the camera. It's just, you know, it's just to shoot straight video, and you have to just, you know, change up the way that thing actually looks. But in some situations when the light is right and you really nail that shot, you know, the video camera, it takes amazing video, but it won't help you at all with making it like better, you know. You have to do it on your own, and yeah, that kind of stuff. There's no any post processing or like this kind of filter type of things that you can do with the camera. So with the lights, it's really hard to buy them online because you're gonna have how they are going to look. I would really want to see a light that I feel that yes, I'm going to buy that. I want that light, but I haven't yet found one. Okay, so I should keep searching. And I have noticed that, you know, with lights, it's just the way that it sometimes fucks up, you know, the video. The video camera kind of records the thing. If you have a very cold light and you have a very natural light, and you start filming with both of these, you know, the camera might start doing weird, you know, like automatic, like fucking settings, you know, all of a sudden. And uh, it's a really hard thing to actually nail, you know. I feel that this is one of the biggest challenges I have as a YouTuber. And nowadays, you know, I have used a lot of natural light because I just feel, you know, it fucking looks good, you know. It's just great. It's just, you know, the way that things are supposed to look when we are on planet Earth. But then again, you might ask this kind of, you know, sci-fi question. There's probably different kind of light in different parts of the universe, and the way that the light was could even make your videos seem more alien and fun. You know, think about some, you know, the way that we think, the way we kind of like look at light, it's so related to our own sun. But we could take our eyes and we could like go somewhere else, you know. We could go to some other place in the universe. There are a lot of, you know, there's a lot of, you know, light in the universe. We know that, and we could go somewhere. There's a lot of light in the universe. We could try to create this kind of feeling of alienness, of other realityness, and film it. And that's probably just the thing that is being done in, for example, sci-fi movies. They don't follow the mindset of trying to make the light look natural. Maybe people even seek to see things lit in a way that is unnatural. But then again, you think about LEDs. You know, what's the problem with LEDs? What's the problem with LED lights compared to light bulbs like in the past? Or any other light. I feel that the light that is emitted by LEDs is really hard. There are these light boxes that are supposed to soften the light, that it makes the light softer. I don't know about that, but LEDs in themselves have a very hard quality of light. When you look at the natural light, it's kind of soft. It's soft, and it's at the same time kind of soothing, so if you want to gain that kind of effect on your video, you should be maybe heading towards that kind of direction. But at the same time, the nature and the colors in the nature are very different than human-made things. Human-made things won't look good in human-made things will look very different in a light like that. So could you completely start thinking about your life in a different way? For example, now I live in this home and I film videos in this home, and then there's the outside world I can use to film videos in. I can go out and film videos. But could I completely start thinking about this in another way? Could I completely start thinking about that these are not the only options that I have, that there's more options? Of course I can go somewhere that is kind of a building or something that is made by that's owned by somebody else, and I can try to make videos there, whatever it might be. I have made some videos in a local library, but I haven't filmed the whole place because I feel that there's nothing that interesting in the place. But I have been filming some stuff over there about my writing, and that's great. But I'm starting to think that there's so much things in this world. If you are a traveler, you can film all kinds of stuff, but then there won't be that your own kind of you haven't designed these sets. You just go around with the video camera and film. Would it be better if you just didn't go around with the video camera and film stuff, and actually designed like a filmmaker what you are filming? You understand that it's a huge step and a huge amount of work to actually do. Okay, there's theater, and with theater you have a stage. Could you build your own stage? Could you do videos on a stage? Well, of course, you have seen a lot of, for example, TED Talks. What are TED Talks all about? They have the same kind of format. A guy or girl or a woman that goes on the stage and talks about something. It's a public speaking thing, and they have the set, and people go there, and people go to this to listen to them in the real life, and it's filmed and you see it. That's their format, and it's a very not negotiable format. But you can do anything inside of that format. You can do anything. We're gonna talk about the set because the lighting is kind of part of the set, a movie set. In like Hollywood, don't they have like huge amounts of different kind of movie sets, and they have all kinds of fucking buildings, and then movies are like shot in nature. Also in nature, in they fly these freaking movie crews to like somewhere, if you really are like a fucking this kind of, if you really are a YouTuber that really feels that that's a great idea, I'm gonna fly to Las Vegas, just make videos. You could do that if you had the monies, But when you don't have the monies, you know, I'm gonna ask a question from you. How can I break that of the other box you're trapped in when I don't have the monies? You know. What can I do, and can I completely take my understanding of YouTube video making to the next level, that there really is no other YouTuber that is doing this stuff in this way? Okay, so we have a content list over here. It's getting pretty good. It's getting pretty good. I have to expand. There are probably books. There are probably books about all of these things. There are probably books about video editing. Some things you can learn through just doing it, you know. Not all skill has to be learned through theory. A lot of stuff can be learned through just doing it, you know. Yeah. Planning. Sticking to the plan. That's hard. That's planning YouTube videos is really kind of it's really kind of hard. But when you have a large, you know, like a film project, would the is the director that is the director the guy that plans how the film will be shot? Is the director really the guy that is kind of like, here's what we got, here's how we're gonna use it, and here's the order we are gonna use it? I don't know. Group endeavors are so like alien to me. I have never been part of, you know, any team really that would have made something great or even anything. So it's not really it's not known territory for me. So there's so much that goes into this. The budget, the set. Okay, let's start thinking about the set. Number 9, the set. Where are you actually going to film this video? Do you have to make this set, or can you use something somebody else has made? Can the set be more than a background? Holy shit, that's a great question. You know, that's a video title over there. Can the set be more than a background? Because if you think about a green screen can't be more than a background, you know. What could you use to make the set more interesting? What could you use to make the set more interesting? For example, I painted a lot of, you know, paintings, and I have you have seen them on my channel, you know, but I feel that like can there be more in the set, you know? I remember some Finnish, you know, these kind of amateurish type of like movie YouTube things, and they were really entertaining, and they made them like it was really a set, you know, but they just used, you know, they just used, you know, like, you know, just ordinary apartment an ordinary apartment to fill the whole fucking thing in. But it was so funny, you know, how they used it, you know, the camera angles, and like there's like huge amounts of creativity in that little box, you know. And I feel that I have not been able to like reach even a freaking like quarter of that kind of thing. But my content is so much more educational, so much more like better for you than that. So what could you use to make the set more interesting? Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Let's ask a question. If you have two people talking to each other, should you have a table between those people? For example, there was this podcast that the Minimalists did. Have you heard of those guys? I don't know if they still make videos, but they had a podcast where they had a table between them. There were two microphones and they shot it from the side. And they had black t-shirts, both of them. The table was like pretty whitish, you know, and there was a black wall, I think, that they shot it against. And they just talked about minimalism. Well, I feel that it's not very artistic, maybe. Yeah, but still, it was kind of good the way they kind of set it up. And I feel that in most of my videos, you know, I have had kind of hard time setting the actual fucking video up. So how could I do it, you know? Like if I just start with an empty room, what can I do? That kind of stuff. That's a challenge. Thanks for watching.